This is Edo Executive Platform, a program that is designed to bring to bear the policies and programs of Edo State government under the leadership of Mr. Godwin Obaseki. It will also provide accurate information about the developmental strides of the government in all the sectors of the state. As the program unfolds, it will afford Edo people and of course residents in the state the opportunity to air their views and also contribute to the development conversation.
I will commit myself to them, and I'll use every ounce of strength that God has given me to work for my people of Edo State.
My name is Habiba Oyege Oyarekwa. Hello and welcome to Edo Executive Platform. My name is Habiba Oyege Oyarekwa. Take a look at this. Your guess is as good as mine. I'm in the office of the Managing Director of Edo City Transport Limited, Mrs. Edugie Agbonlahor. She is an extraordinary woman, a woman with a difference, and of course, a lady that knows her onions. She's a fellow of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, ICANN, and of course, an award-winning woman. Madam, you are welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations on the new buses that were presented by Governor Godwin Obaseki, 75 in number. Now, how has business been?
Quite interesting. You realize that we bought the DEU buses in 2010. That's almost 8 years ago. And we're at a stage where the buses were becoming very aged and needed to be withdrawn from the roads for refurbishment. So the governor's purchase of the 75 new buses was a most timely intervention and has brought a new lease of life to the company, and our operations have been revived again and we are all back en route. So we are just trying to settle into the system to ensure that we are able to offer Edo people the efficient services they all desire.
This cashless policy, how is it affecting your business?
It's not affecting us. In short, it has come up very well with the positively, and the passengers have all bought their cards and they're all riding in the buses. And the essence of the cashless is actually to reduce pilferage and enhance our revenue collection system, and most importantly, also avoid strife and contention between passengers and the officers on the bus, which we have achieved now, because the officers in the bus are only there to ensure that the passengers swipe in. So it has been a most welcome development, and our passengers are quite happy about the development.
What about those of us that cannot read and write?
Okay, you don't actually have to know how to read and write to go on to use your card, because just a simple swiping system. You buy the card for 300 naira. 150 is the cost of the card. 150 naira is transport fare within the city. When you exhaust the 150 naira, you go to any of our marketers wearing their red t-shirts, and they recharge for you and give you a receipt that shows how much you have recharged in your card. And once you get into the bus, all you need to do is just to swipe. But our officers are there to direct you if you have any problems. So it doesn't have to do with literacy or illiteracy.
And your cards cannot be cloned by anybody?
No, the security is intact.
I like that. Now, what is the vision of your organization?
Okay, you know, we are the government agency in transportation in Edo State. So we want to be the pace setter. We want to set the pace for efficient public transportation in Edo State. And when you talk about efficient public transportation, you are talking about it being affordable for the people. You are talking about being available, being reliable, comfortable, and people can easily access it. So we want to set the pace for other transporters within the state when it comes to intracity service. And the governor has positioned us properly for this. We have started the bus reform, which we hope will encourage other investors to come in and also do bus reform that will change the face of the city when it comes to transportation. So you don't see the rickety buses, you now see new buses that are comfortable for our esteemed passengers.
Do you have a rewards for loyalty? Like we have with some airlines and of course some of our buses as well.
We will very soon again, but I know in the past years, 3 or 4 times we have done that, where passengers have been given, based on their ridership in the buses, they've been given gifts.
Now, how many buses do you have currently? And could you just give us an idea of the number of staff that you have?
Okay, we have 75 buses right now, which are the newly purchased one. We have about 10 of the Dewu we've added to the 75 to be able to meet the demands. But you know, His Excellency has already approved that 70 of the Dewu buses be refurbished. So we are expecting that within the next 6 months, you know, that should be successfully done. So we'll be talking about a fleet of 145 buses. With the 75 buses, we have about 576 staff, because each bus has 4 staff.
Okay.
Yeah. Then you have the mechanics, the workshop, the complementary staff, the accounting department, the accounts department, audit department, marketers, even the bus washers. So we are high generation, employment generation for the state.
I can see that aside being an accountant, you are also an administrator par excellence. Now, how has it been coordinating these people? Almost 600 members of staff. How has it been?
I think management is all about understanding the capacity of your staff, ensuring that they are put in the right place where they can, you know, perform at their highest capacity. And that's exactly what I've done. The management staff are up and doing. Every management staff is held accountable for his department, and you just give them targets which they run with and which they pass down to their supervisor. So you have captain of 50s, captain of 100s, captain of 1,000. So that's exactly what we have done. At each stage we have tried to group ourselves, like the bus officers have senior bus officers over them, to ensure that if you are operating from Ugbowo, you have your senior bus officer that now reports to the supervisor within the zone. The supervisor now has a project manager. The project manager reports to me. But that does not mean I cannot come in at any stage. I can intervene at any stage, whether high or low staff. But generally, we have organized ourselves in such a way that every staff is held accountable for the task assigned to him or her.
Do you have an idea of the transport fares?
Yes, I do.
Like from here in your office, we're at Ramat Park right now. If I want to go to Ugbowo, how much am I paying? If
you are going to Ugbowo, you will have to go first to either New Benin, or you go to Ring Road. From here to Ring Road is 15 naira when you are going like this. Let me explain something. Yeah. Because we understand that we have our peak periods and our peak areas. So when you are moving from Ramat Park to the end of your destination, you have 100 naira. But from when you are coming from the end of Agbon Road to King Square, you now pay 50 naira. Okay. When you are coming from the end of Enya, you pay 50 naira. So we have such interventions that make it easier for us to have passengers, because we have passengers complaining that when they are going on short distances, our fares are high. And that's because we are actually mass transit, and we are not the smaller buses that can stop you know, at every bus stop. So we are actually mass transit, and we favor those that go on longer long distances. So but if you are coming back on certain of our routes, about 4 routes, it now becomes 50 naira. So for example, if you are at Ramat Park and you are going to Ring Road, it's 50 naira. And you from Ring Road to Oluku, it's 100 naira.
That's cheap.
Yes, it is. It is. From Ring Road to Bypass at Sapler Road, it's 100 naira.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. So we are cheap. We are affordable. That's why we say we are affordable.
Don't worry. Maybe on our next recording with you, we'll probably may take a trip on some of the buses.
Yes, that would be very interesting. Our students do that. Because it's free ride for students.
Yes, so once you are in uniform.
Once you are in uniform. So some of them do excursion. They just get to Ring Road. They go and say the part of Benin they've not been to before now. So
does it mean that if I put on a uniform now with an ID card?
That would be interesting.
All right, now what areas do you cover within Edo State?
Okay, right now we are on 10 major routes. We cover Ekenwa up to Gelegele. Okay. We are on Ugbowo from Ring Road up to Oluku.
Okay.
We are on the Sapler Road up to the bypass. Okay. We are on the Sakumba Road from Ring Road up to Idogbo. Then we are on Agbo Road. We are on the Enya axis. We are not on Mission Road yet because we are waiting for the 70 buses to be added to the fleet. We have had complaints from or requests from Mission Road, from Ego.
It's complaints and requests.
Yes,
complaints our road. Why?
So from Mission Road and Ogida Ego.
Okay.
So we want to be able to satisfy the routes we are on right now, so that people don't get to our terminals and not see buses. Okay. But once the 70 buses are refurbished, we will go on those routes.
All right. If you are just joining us, this is Edo Executive Platform. When we come back, we shall be talking about the maintenance culture at Edo City Transport Limited. Stay with us.
I will commit myself to them, and I'll use every ounce of strength that God has given me to work for my people of Edo State.
I don't get a lot, God do it. God do it, no, na God do it, no, na God do it, no.
They don't get a lot, oh. Our digital governor, Governor Obaseki, don't bring plenty brand new buses for Edo State. Consider Kule, go anywhere in comfort and jollimentation. For Edo Intracity bus, who everybody they call Comrade bus, the people's bus. For Edo Intracity bus, you not go pay the money for inside the bus, oh, but you go buy rechargeable card for 300 naira only. Inside the e-card, you'll get 150 naira, and you go to recharge them with any amount as many times as you like. Make you not throw away the e-card, oh. You will buy this card for any of our ECTS office, for Ring Road, oh, New Bini, all of our major terminals, or inside the bus backpack. Just put the card for inside the machine for the bus. Magam, you don't pay with that.
Okay, them talk for school children are free. Stay for line as you they enter ECTS bus. Not throw away the G or nyama anywhere.
Don't forget to buy your ECTS bus card, oh, because now cashless service now. Edo Intracity Bus Service, bringing comfort back to transportation.
God do it.
How many 10 years ago, more than 10 years now? There's no road, people suffer from here to here, even though rainfall, there's no road to pass. We will check erosion here and here. So we thank God for that.
In respect of this road, we shall be in abandoned project in our life. When it rains in this way, we don't have way to get to our various home. Many people have deviated from this lucky way to elsewhere because of erosion. Today we are grateful unto him, and we say we are happy having him as our governor, and he will remain our governor in the name of Jesus.
You're welcome back. Now, my MD, Mrs. Edugie, what plans do you have to extend your your services to other local governments, but that is after you have given me a list of the local governments that you cover regarding intracity.
Okay. Right now, we move from Benin through Ekpoma, Auchi, Igara, Ibilo, Ososo. That's one route. We have another one going from Benin, Ekpoma, Uromi, Ubiaja. We have another one going Benin, Sabongida, Ora, Afuze, and Otuo.
Oh, that's Otuo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then we have Benin, Sabo, Uzeba. Then we have Benin and Ewato, Benin to Ewato. We have Benin to Uronigbe.
Okay.
Then for our students going to the Delta State University, we have Benin, Omutu.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, which of these areas are you not covering now efficiently?
We are covering these areas efficiently. The one we are not going to right now, and they've shown interest, is Agenibode, Fuga. That will come on board when we have more buses.
Okay. But have you not had any challenge so far along these areas, along these routes?
There have been some challenges because, for example, there are some routes we have opened and we have had to close because the ridership was low. We didn't have enough commuters to justify 44-seater buses. Because some of the routes, maybe 15-seater, 28-seater will just be adequate. So when you take a 44-seater bus, you are going to run below that, you won't break even because you will not get enough passengers for such routes. So because we've had, so because of that, we've had to shut down such stations. And we've had to explain to the communities because they come here asking why we've had to shut it down. Because people want the buses, but sometimes it's not economically viable for us. And then we have to shut them down.
And you run intrastate?
No, we don't do any within those towns. Because like I said, 44-seater buses have to be justified by the level of ridership within that community. Because you don't just take buses when there are no need for them. So you need to have enough people within the community for the bus to be necessary for their transportation requirements.
Now, what is the maintenance culture like?
What we have done is that we do appreciate the fact that the manufacturers know what they have produced and they have a manual on how we should maintain their buses. So we do not do shortcuts on their maintenance. Quality diesel. We ensure that the diesel we buy is quality diesel, not mixed diesel. Secondly, the lubricants prescribed by the manufacturers, we stick to those lubricants and we service them as and when due. Then there's preventive maintenance. And if for any reason there is a breakdown or an accident, we ensure that we repair immediately. So because the longer you keep a vehicle down, the more difficult it is for you to raise it up again. So that's how we ensure that the vehicles are on the road.
Let's say, for instance, if one of your buses is traveling from here to Ibilo, for example, and there is a breakdown on the road, how would you do that? How would you handle that? Do you have a mechanic or a maintenance man traveling with the driver on that bus?
No, not every vehicle, except we have a hire that you have more than 5 or 6 vehicles going on hire to a particular location. We can't give a mechanic, or it's a long distance, like you're going to Abuja or Zaria. Okay, but once it's within the state, there's no mechanic. But what we'll immediately do is that when the driver calls, the passenger's welfare is paramount. We send a bus first for recovery. The mechanics go with it. The bus takes the passengers and go. But if there's also it's not major maintenance, and the driver says that there is a mechanic within the vicinity that can take care of that maintenance, because we have station managers in Ekpoma, in Auchi. So if it's within that area and the station manager says they can handle it, immediately they do. But because it's a 44-seater bus and most mechanics may not be familiar with our maintenance, most recoveries are done from Benin.
Okay. So once the bus is hired, you want to give the customer service for their money.
Yes.
So you give them a mechanic to go with them. Oh, I like that. I like that. Now,
Long
distance, like from here to Abuja.
Yes.
Okay. Now, we are aware that the Obaseki-led administration is constructing a world-class bus terminal. Now, how will these bus stations improve your services?
We are looking forward to that. We are looking forward to that because the dream of having an integrated transport system will become a reality. Because with that terminal, it means that the passengers can come in and be sure at every given point in time that there will always be a bus available. So the downtime or the waiting time for passengers will be greatly reduced. And it also means that the transportation system in Edo State will be more organized. And our desire to have passenger information system where passengers can get there and know at what time they can move and when the bus will arrive and all that can easily be put in place, because telecommunications comes with an organized system. And you can also now have scheduled bus service. Yeah. For example, you can get to our bus stop and know that 5 minutes time, I know a comrade bus will arrive at this bus stop. And it means that if you're in your office, you don't have to go out 20 minutes before a bus gets there. If you are aware that it's only going to 5 minutes time, then in 3 minutes time, you can leave your desk. So that means you're less time loss for our workers.
So that is one of the strategies that you are hoping to put in place to improve services.
Yes.
Now, what other strategies do you have that you may want to share with us?
Yeah, though we have been doing this, human resource development, training our drivers and bus officers biannually, but we tend to continue on a consistent basis so that the difference cannot be clear between our workforce and the drivers or conductors of the other buses. And like I said, as an agency of government, we should be pace setters. We should be trailblazers. People should see us as an example to ensure that transport is efficient within Edo State. So we are looking forward to where our staff can be not only praised by us, but the public can actually say that they are offering efficient and effective services. And like I said, the major focus now is actually a cashless system, scheduled bus service, passenger information system. So if we can, when the terminal comes on board, as the governor has promised us, and many of these transport infrastructures come on board, we'll find that we can say that we can provide a world-class transportation system in Edo State.
How do you motivate
to become an
staff?
Example for other staff,
I
for
hear
other
you.
states.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Now, how do you motivate your staff?
We do by productivity bonus. Then periodically there's an increase in their salaries.
Periodically,
and for long service staff, every 2 years. So when you do 2 years with us, we feel that you are entitled to an increase in your remuneration. Then there's welfare for them, medicals when they fall ill on duty.
Not when they are fall ill.
No. When they fall ill on duty, we take care of them. Yeah.
Oh, good. Now, we have people who want to market their products in buses and all that. Do you allow it? You don't?
No, we don't. Passengers, when they enter our buses, they didn't go to a marketplace. So we allow them to sit in the bus and be comfortable, less noise. It's already carrying 44 people and even more if they are standing passengers. So it's not at that stage you should have people trying to sell. And we have to also guard against sale of drugs, prohibited drugs and all that may not be sold in pharmacy. They will not think that the bus is a place where they can come and sell such items. So for all those reasons, we don't allow trading inside the bus.
And of course, you also advise passengers not to destroy the seats.
Yeah, we do. We encourage them, we talk to them. And I think even the governor helped us by telling them in his speech that the property belongs to them.
Belongs to all of us.
Yeah, so they should protect the property.
Talking about the governor, you want to give us a brief assessment of his administration?
Yeah, we are happy with his administration. Been a lot of strategic pursuit of his goals concerning the state. For transportation, we can see the dynamic way he has been following all that he has patterned for the sector, starting from the feeder roads that are being constructed every day, because those feeder roads are decongesting the major routes and making it easier for the mass transit to ply the roads. The interventions in market areas that have removed illegal trading have also ensured that we are able to operate efficiently. Then the ESMA that has come on board, and now the bus reform for ECTS. So these are strategic, pursuits of his goals for the sector, and transport is just one of them. I think there are other, you are privy to other sectors, but let me just stick to the transportation sector in which I operate. So this is just an example of what he's doing in other sectors of the economy in Edo State.
Well, I said it, a woman that knows her onions. I want to say a big thank you to Mrs. Edugie Agbonlahor, the MD CEO of Edo City Transport Limited, for coming on the program.
Thank you so much for having me on your program.
Thank you so very much. And my name remains Habiba Oyege Oyarekwa. Have a good evening.